What's going on, guys? We're talking about the Flutties Maximum Football 2020, and I'm going to dive into different stuff about this game from the standpoint of, is this game really even a good option for a football game? Is it worth getting for those that don't have it? If you're a diehard football fan, should you be even messing with this game if you're really serious about playing football? Now, I'm going to tell you this. This game here, what it basically is, as you can see, I have some NFL teams on here. Now, the logo creator, I was able to get some of the logos fairly accurate, as you can edit these teams and give them what you want. Some of my logos don't look that great, but some look better than others. But anyway, my point is, how does this game compare on the football market, as an actual game to play? I'm going to get into some points, and I'm going to tell you what makes me really, really, really into this game. And it's kind of an obvious thing. And it's basically the customization. Not only the customization of players, teams, and logos, but the customization to your gameplay, period, with the college rules, the Canadian rules, the NFL, the pro football rules. There's no other game like that that I've ever seen anywhere of any kind of sports title. Okay? You can go to sliders. You can select your button controls, your sliders. This is the sliders I use. Catch modifier 1. Now you might think that looks a little crazy, but the game plays fairly well like that. It actually balances it, believe it or not. When you put catch modifier on 1, they still catch the football. I thought they wouldn't, but they do. Receiver route persistence 1. They still run their routes. They don't run them perfectly crisp all the time. I think it may be based on attributes, but it balances the game to where it's not just, robots running perfectly crisp routes, catching everything you throw that touches them. It's not, you don't really want it like that. Okay, and then here's your coverage, 100%, because, that kind of gives you a little bit of that puts a challenge on it. You don't want an easy game with guys running wide open all the time and you can just press any button and score. You don't want it like that. Pass defense, these are similar, but I think pass defense might have also to do with the pass rush. Pass blocking, I got that down to 20. I didn't put that down to 1 like some of the others. As you can see, some of these are 1, some of them are 100, but then this is the only one that's 20. And then run blocking 1. The run block was overly powered. The running game was overly powered in this game. That's why I did it. And you can still rush for a good amount of yards if you have a good running back with a good line, with a decent line. You can still get your game in. But if you put this up high, the game will be so unchallenging. It won't even be fun. So, that's why I got that there. This is the slider setting that works best for me. Out of all the stuff that I've tried, you can even create a playbook now, or create plays. Now, I'm going to be real. Last time I was here, now they patched the game, so I don't know, but I think my Falcon logo looks pretty decent. It's not 100%, but if you glance at it, it looks decent. Okay, as you can see, I got some teams on here, but last time I went to this, there was some issues with testing the plays. There was no issue with creating plays, but there was issues with testing your plays. Okay, I'm gonna put that on a separate video. We're gonna do a playbook video, okay? But that's not this video here. This video is talking about, is this game really good? We're gonna be very unbiased and be completely honest with you. Now, I'm going to actually go into a game and just kind of talk a little bit about some of the gameplay as I'm playing it to just give you a more in-depth reason, you know, why I'm saying what I'm saying. That way I'm not just out here kind of rambling. Now, as you can see, I got these teams on here, but I don't have any players. Like, I don't have Patrick Mahomes, or I have no NFL players on here. I haven't done that. There's no Drew Brees, or there's nobody. I didn't do that. I only did that with the college rosters. Okay, we're gonna use the Steelers in this video, and let's see. I may even I'm not gonna play this full game. You know, I'm just giving you some information. You know, as you've seen my slider settings, right? I have catch modifier on 1. You know, they drop some, they catch some. It just depends on how open they are and the attributes of the receiver. All that stuff matters. One thing I noticed is, like, when you edit players in this, a lot of the defensive players have 1 on catch, and I think they did that so that interceptions wouldn't be ridiculously overpowered. I played Madden, and right now Madden is just really bad. Now, if I say this is good and Madden is bad, I'm not saying this is just a more complete game. I'm not saying that. My point is, Madden is supposed to be the NFL, and it just isn't. It doesn't seem like the NFL. This, even though you see these teams, this game is whatever you want to do. That's what this is. It's your decision. There's nothing on here. The only thing licensed on here is Doug Flutie himself. He's in the game. I will be honest, I don't like the way that snow looks. It doesn't really look right to me. It just kind of looks like chalk or something. You know, the on the field pattern. You know, I'm not huge on that, okay? It doesn't bother me that much, but I'm not real big on it. I'm not the hugest fan of this kick meter, but I think it's okay. It works for this type of game. It's when I say I'm not a fan of it, I'm not saying it's bad. I'd like to see something a little bit different. And as I'm walking you through just to tell you different stuff about this game. I use the right analog, you know, can do all this stuff. And then you just flip that switch. I'd like to see something a little bit more advanced than this, but I'm okay with this. It doesn't irritate me, but you know, that's my opinion on the kick meter. Now, as far as the gameplay, there's a couple of plays in this that are a little bit overpowered defensively. You know, this is one of them. I'm running the blitz off. You know, but now they can beat you. If they beat you, they kill you. But what I do is I use a linebacker or a defensive back, and I control him and I hold him back, and let everyone else go after the quarterback. As you can see, it's a little bit overpowered, but occasionally they can get through. If he gets a good pass off on time, they'll score most of the time if you don't hold somebody back. So that's that. But if I'm being honest with you, that blitz all is a little bit overpowered. I don't even really use it that often. I use it on, like, if a team goes for it on 4th and 1 or something, I will use it, but I don't sit there and use it all day. Now, the user controls a little better in this. And one thing I do like about this game, right, that makes it a little bit different than last year's, when I come in after the quarterback, he takes off almost every time. Unless I just get him there way too fast, he will take off. He's very aware of what's going on. And if you blitz too much, the quarterback will start developing tendencies where he just wants to run all right because he's paranoid of the blitz. See, as you can see, I'm going to take a look at that replay. Now, regardless of how you feel about the animation itself, watch the way the quarterback reacts. Here I come. He realizes I'm coming, so he steps over. I'm coming from that side. He steps the other way and gets rid of the football. Yeah, the animation could use a little bit of work. You know, this is a lower market game. It's a lower budget game, but to me, it looks good. Over here, let's look at their helmets and stuff. I honestly like what I'm seeing. You know, the players themselves are lacking detail, but it's because this game is just not quite there when it comes to, like, you know, every year they improve. If I'm being 100% honest, which I am, this whole video, nothing biased, nothing crazy, there's no marketing going on here, I'm just telling you stuff. If you play, it's not Doug Flutties, but Maximum Football 18, you know, I love these developers. They have something good going on, but that game is really, it's terrible. I'm just being honest. There's nothing good about that game. But I did play it, and you know, it was bad. And then you had 19, which was a huge improvement from Doug Flutties. Oh, I'm sorry, Maximum Football 18. They didn't have the Doug Flutie name yet. You know, I keep forgetting it. But now I'm gonna run you through this play right here, and then we're gonna talk about the AI and stuff like that. We're gonna really get into it. See, that was pretty good right there. It was a decent little play that I ran. You know, let's look at some of the blocking. I've always thought the blocking. Now, when you look over here, you notice players spinning around to try to look at this here. Look, he's trying to get around 60. He spins 60, puts his hand out. You know, this game is improving a lot. I don't know if that was in. See how his hand came out to just sort of. Now, it is a little bit stiff. It's not super fluid, but it's definitely good enough for what this game is. As you can see, maybe, and I'm just saying maybe the offensive lineman has higher attributes than the defensive. That's why, you know, even though he's putting out that effort in, he can't seem to get in there. Now, let's take a look at some more stuff with this game here. He throws the football. That was a good throw. You know, he threw it rolling. He could get it. He caught it. Nothing overpowered here. Nothing underpowered. Now remember, my catch modifier is on 1. Okay, that's the lowest it can be. But since he and the route running is on 1. But players, I think, don't quote me on this, but I believe players' intelligence and stuff and route running is, you know, plays a role in all of this when you change the sliders. Because you might say, well, how is that a 1 if he still caught that? Well, you're going to catch something. They're not going to make any setting where you just can't catch. That's really stupid. But as you can see, I maxed out his. I don't think I maxed it out. I gave him high speed. I feel like they slowed down the fastest speed in this to try to take a little bit of the overpoweredness, because the running game was super overpowered one time. It was ridiculously too easy. It was almost like hard to deal. I didn't even want to run plays, to be honest. Now we're running this. As you can see, he was open. Now the defense reacts a lot quicker now. I think that comes with the patch. The defense was extremely hesitant in this game before. And I like the names on these players. They're more realistic names. I think last year's had like really weird names that you never heard of in almost every play. Now I will be honest, the spin moves don't seem terribly effective. I don't have an issue with that because,
the ball is on the 11-yard line.
you know, maybe it would be overpowered or something, because I do well with the running game. Like, look at my statistics: 3 runs, 38 yards. That's definitely good. I mean, that's more than 10 yards a carry. You know. So I mean, that's very good. And the audible system has improved a lot in this game. See, it took a while for that route to develop, so it got to my quarterback, and that's very good because it takes away that overpower factor that you may have if you could just stand there and wait for that pass, you know, that route to develop every time. You know, that would be an issue. See, I was waiting on and he fumbled it. As you can see, the quarterback's awareness was not very good. He just casually got up because he thought the play was over. Now, let me see if he was down, because that could be another issue. There's obviously no, like, challenges in this or not. Oh, yeah, he definitely lost it prior to hitting the ground. But for some reason, he just didn't realize that, and he lost the football. So there's definitely some awareness issues. Again, I like this game, and I'm going to talk it up, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest. There's some player awareness issues in this game. Some players seem oblivious at times. It's not making it real terrible to the point where it's like the game is stupid and it's just unplayable. It's not like that, but you see it in some places, you know.
First and 10. At the 42-yard line.
And I honestly don't put a whole lot of thought in like defensive plays like I would in like Madden or something like that. And I'm gonna show you something else. I kind of, it's not a big deal, but I would like to see it patched or fixed. And that is the snap count is identical. See, when he claps his hand, you count to 3, and he can get in there, watch. And his hands clap, watch. 1, 2, 3, and you just come in. Now, if you have a fast defensive play, you know, that could be overpowering. You know, I'd like to see a running snap count, you know, so that you can't just, you know, 1, 2, 3. And it gives you an advantage as a defensive player, you know, in the end, to know when to get in there and when not to. Maybe if they fix that, they can do like a 3-second, 2-second, 1-second, 4-second, based on whatever time you have left, you know, in your play clock, you know, to try to, you know, throw your defense off. Again with 1, 2, 3. See, I got that half a foot step jump start. That's why I was able to get in there, because I know their snap count. It's organic over time. And that's one thing about the game that, you know, there's some things they need to fix. It's nothing terrible, okay? It's not busting the game or anything, but it's definitely something that now, what I do like is bigger, stronger players do show their power now in offense and defense. You make a guy's attributes higher, and you make him bigger, he's harder to tackle. Just like in real life. As you can see, he did drop that. They drop sometimes. I don't know if the weather, you know, because I have to catch. If I had to catch him out if I'd real high, he would probably. They may snatch everything when they're open. See, now what I hate about this game, I still don't like it. They don't. The arm strength just doesn't seem to be there sometimes. It's there sometimes, but sometimes it just isn't. And there's no reason for it. It just seems like for some reason they're by themselves in the pocket, and they just throw that deep ball, and there's just no strength behind his throw. Therefore, he underthrows it. That's one big kind of pet peeve I have. It's not too consistent, but it's definitely there.
from the
As you can see,
21-yard line.
we got sacked, you know, and so we got to punt it. This is a very, it's a lot more balanced now. I do win almost every time I play this. In fact, I don't think I've lost yet, but I've had close games. I love the Canadian rules. If the Canadian rules needs to be fixed, it is because it almost seems like the computer is not always trying to get first downs, or they're not selecting the right plays. So I tried to catch that, and I'm gonna leave this game, you know, because I wasn't gonna finish it anyway. I just want to give you a few pointers. But the Canadian rules in this, the problem I have with it is you can pretty much win your games because computer almost seems like their awareness is not that high when it comes to, you know, your 10 team is your Canadian League, obviously. I have a season on here, and I'm going to go into it just to give you some information so you can know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go to season. Now, I have a Puerto Rican team in here, okay? So let's go to week 1. Let's go. Week 1, I was Puerto Rico. I won 35-6. The only thing they did was score 2 field goals because when it's second down, they seem a little casual with it. They don't. It's almost like they think it's 4-down territory or something. I don't know. It might be something going on with the AI, but they get a lot of third downs. And as you know, Canadian football is 3 downs instead of 4. And it seems like the computer is a little bit unaware of it, and it makes it easy for you to win because they spend most of the day punting. You know, they don't run bad plays. They're not like running crap plays. It's just their awareness as to, you know, like for example, it might be 2nd and 10. They might hand it off and get 5 yards and then punt it. You know, that's not reasonable in reality because you need 10 yards. Why are you just running it up the middle? And they do a lot of that in the Canadian game in this. That's the only real knock I have on it. You know, but anyway, that's a little bit of information about this game as far as like the good and the bad. You know, the customization is awesome. You can literally have 4 seasons at once with 4 different leagues. You know, you can do that on here. Somebody told me that the 16-team league was based on that other professional football league from the 80s. I think 86 or 87. But, you know, I think that's probably true. I edited a lot of these teams, so they're not, you know, but they have some really cool designs here. Some of them do. Some of them don't have anything on their helmet, but I definitely edited some of these teams. You know, I made some of them look like this team was not Rhode Island. I don't remember what they were, but I changed probably a majority of these teams. No, maybe about 4 or 5 of these teams. I changed the name of them, but this just gives you one more option. You know, that's what it does. You know, you have your 130 college teams, and then you have your pro teams. You just have so many options in this game. So the customization and the gameplay options are what makes this game really, really good to me. Anyway, give me your opinion on this game. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think this game is better than I'm giving it credit for? Do you think it's worse? You know, we're open-minded here. We're going to give everybody a chance to just sort of be real. You're not wrong or right. You know, we all have different views, different opinions. different ways of looking at the game.